Yo, 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 this is Marvin Priest and this is One for the Road. You done know.
Yo, right now, this is William Gone and this is One for the Road. You heard?
What it do, y'all? It's your boy Legend and you are listening to another One for the Road, alright? Let's get it.
It's been a wild ride, man. It's been flat out, heading to Sydney, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
What's doing there?
Oh, it's like a DJ set.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so, have you heard of Amapiano?
Nah, maybe, but no.
Oh, man, you'll hear it soon enough, man.
Sick.
It's like Afro beats, but like house music for Afro beats.
Oh, word. Yeah, banging.
Yeah, so it's yeah, man. It's the beats that come from South Africa. That's where it originated from.
Heavy.
Real heavy kind of bass, synths, beats, everything like that. And it's an original sound, so it just sounds like it's just amazing, man. And yeah, it's just taking the world by storm.
That's...
Yeah, so filming some DJ sets out there.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool, man. Yeah, filming in Sydney, then they got a show down in Melbourne on Sunday night. And just putting out the mixes for people to put on, like for parties or when they drive in the car.
Sick.
That's what the channel's like, it's entertainment.
Yeah, hundo.
Yeah.
So you're going there to film and you're grabbing the audio export as well and uploading that as like a mix for
Yeah,
people?
no, but filming with the video too.
Oh,
so
okay,
the DJs
gotcha,
are
yes.
playing and then there's like people vibing. And
Yes.
you,
Yeah. That's mad, bro. That's mad. I've been really getting into that like Brazil funk sound.
Yeah.
That's mad, dude. And I see it popping now a bit more. But like...
In Section 8, they got some Brazil nights and that.
Yes, yeah. Well, shout out Licks, the one of the boys up there, because he's a mad DJ as well. He's actually put me onto it.
Yeah.
And shout out his brand OBV Global. They do charity for the favelas in Brazil through their clothing and stuff. He funds like DJ programs and shit. So
That's beautiful, man. All right, so there's another one for the road. We managed to get some time and got a homie down. Always putting in solid work for Melbourne City. Goes by the name of 01 Ekka. And yeah, every time we link up, it's always a good vibe, always positive energy, man. So thanks for coming down and making the time.
Thanks for being here with me, bro. I really appreciate you taking the time to do the podcast, and we got a secret take one coming too.
Yeah, take one. Yeah, definitely, man. That's just the one take. So yeah, that's it, man. So, yeah,
You flipped, yeah.
Yeah, I flipped it. I was like, what was it called? Take one, and like plus filming as well. It's like take one, action.
Yeah.
Like
It works, bro. And like take one. Like take a second. Listen to this.
yeah, let's take one. Not take two.
Yeah. Just take one. I'm right here.
That's it, man. So yeah, man, you were talking before the pod. You've got a job doing some you're constructing things.
Yeah.
You're building things down at near Amy.
Yeah, FIFA
World Cup.
Yeah, so I'm an event manager as a day-to-day job, as day-to-day as that is. And so yeah, recently I just did some stuff for FIFA Women's World Cup. And I have a lot of jobs, bro. Like I've worked as a lot of fucking things,
Yeah.
And I think ultimately, obviously, I want it to be my music and my creativity that funds my earning. And even if that's at a low capacity and it's livable, I'm happy and I won't do anything else. And I try my best to like learn and to stay humble when I'm on like jobs like that. But at the same time, I'm so often around people that don't have a similar vision or level of priorities. And it's just like, it's so jarring and frustrating. It's hard to stay connected and humble to the work you're doing. So I'll do like installations for like FIFA World Cup. It's something, the client is like Visa. So it's like, do I give a fuck about Visa? No. You know what I mean? Like, and so you're working with like just tradies, chippies and stuff. And one example, right? So I did this event at Timber Yard, right? Mad spot. And we're doing this big truss installation. It was like, for this floating table, all this stuff. And then we're bumping it out. So we're getting rid of all the truss and I'm with all the boys who've flown down from Sydney and stuff. And I'm just kind of thinking about whatever, staying busy or going home, one or the other. And the Nelk boys roll through.
No way, the Nelk boys, they came to, yeah.
Right?
Wow.
During the bump out, not even during
Did
the
you jump on
event.
the podcast?
Yeah. Well, okay. So I was like, but I didn't see them. Because I was like, bullshit. One of the boys, he's like, oh, Ethan, bro, fucking Nelk boys just pulled through. I'm like, shut up, bro. And in my head, I'm thinking, this guy's taking the piss out of me. Thinks I'm an iPad kid or something.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, okay, bro.
Right, yeah, it doesn't make,
It doesn't clock,
They're just here, yeah.
And he's like, no, bro, mum's. I'm like, whatever. Like, everyone's like, it was awkward as. Everyone's like looking at me. I'm like, whatever. I just don't want to think about this. It's like a 2,000 capacity venue, completely empty. So if I was thinking like, oh, well, I'd like to look around and see if that's like true, but I don't look like a dickhead. So I was just kind of wandering around and I like found a way to wander around and come back. And when I come back, they've got their hands in the air like, you just fucking missed them, bro. They just came back. Said, what's up, cunts, and left. I was like, fuck off. I'm not even like, a Nelk guy, but I'm just like, you know, that's an example of people who are like they don't give a fuck about that. But for me, that's like someone who's in the media world, the internet world, whatever, that internet game, they're playing it at the highest level.
You're moving on a different time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like I'd rather have a conversation with them for 5 minutes than fucking old mate Blake, whose favorite thing is the pot and palmer on Tuesdays at the pub. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at. That's who I'm with. That's my reality. And I go, oh, bullshit. And I step out the corner and there's 2 fucking Range Rovers pulling out and no shit, there they are.
Yeah, it's like life's all about kind of like seizing those kind of moments sometimes, but you can't always force it, you know. You've got to kind of have a backing. So how does having like a 9 to 5 or a solid job, how do you feel that supports like artists like yourself? Because, you know, as you were talking about before, you know, you might, you know, be recording the night before, then you got to pull up 6 a.m. and you got calls coming through. You know, what kind of advice would you give to people like how's your experience been, you know, working, having an income while also being an artist?
I think that they're less hand in hand than people make it out to be. I think, you know, you obviously need money to live and everyone's born in a different scenario, circumstance, and everyone's capacity is greater than their current, you know, if they're willing to change their thinking. So yes, like you need to support yourself and that's important, but it's also equally important to keep your priorities in order and to remember where you're going might be different to where you're at. And if you don't change your thinking, it will always be exactly where you are. And changing your thinking means changing your actions. And that changes day by day. So sure, you know, say yes to the jobs, you know, say yes to whatever's going to make you and earn and understand your own risk and understand what's coming for you. But, you know, I don't think that it's one of those things where it's like, for me personally, I can't compartmentalize that way. If I have 2 weeks of arduous hours doing the event work, my brain goes into logistics mode and it stays there. And that's how I value my decisions, because the decisions I'm making on site are totally different to the creative decisions I'd be making in my artistic life. And so if all I'm making is on-site decisions 10 hours a day, my thinking pattern changes. I can be very malleable and adaptable that way, you know, in my own psyche. And so I go, well, that's valuable. It's valuable to be consistent and with my time and efficient. And so as soon as I then get free time, I use that same frame of mind but I don't apply it to creative things. I just apply it to maybe admin work. And then I'm like, sweet, time for me. And just fucking scroll on my phone or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's more important to, by all means, earn what you need to live a comfortable living. But it's also important to reiterate to yourself and to others that you are able to earn money from your art and from your creative thinking and using those muscles within your brain, even if you have to uphold a 9 to 5. I think that's the most important thing in the balance.
Definitely, man. I like what you said about compartmentalizing things. You know, we interviewed an artist called Wonder Banton from Nigeria, Port Harcourt, and he says, Instagram's my office. So when he logs into Instagram, he's like walking into his office.
That's great.
So he's taking it seriously. He's got his personal life and Teddy, and then he's got Wonder Banton, his artist. So, you know, I think that definitely in this day and age as an artist, you need to, make sure you segment different areas of your life so you're able to focus in on the art. It's not like, you know, you can just be an artist and wild out and just be free and crazy all the time, because you got to wake up the next day and put in work. So you know, how have you been I'll just cut it there because I got to talk to Ollie. That's a good time to cut.
Hey man, did you get my message?
Nah, just doing a pod with Owen and Ekka while we have a bit of spare time.
Oh yeah, there's a geezer outside waiting though, yeah?
Oh shit, I can't. You gotta call him, bro. Just tell him to chill for a minute.
Alright, no stress man, I'll do that now. I'll see you in a minute.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we'll be done in about 20 minutes.
Alright, it's what it is. Alright, cool man, see you in a bit.
Catch. Cool. Yeah.
Are you all good? You want to keep going?
Yeah, no, of course. So I was just talking about compartmentalizing things and everything like that. What's your year been like so far? Because I know last time we linked up, we said what were the visions for 2022? Yeah. How did that year play out? Did you check off everything you wanted to do? Did you get some things done? Did some things not work out? Expand on that a little bit so we can kind of see how, you know, because like not everything we say we do, and that's being a human.
Absolutely,
we're not perfect.
Yeah.
How did it go for you that year?
It's a great question, brother. I really love that too. That that one take. Go check it out. One for the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I can't remember exactly what the goals were, but I wanted to do shows in other cities. I wanted to do a sold out show in Sydney, and I did that. But that's because I was lucky enough to go on tour with Brad Strutt and Rangers RC. So we went around and we did Brisbane and Adelaide, and Strutt did a few more locations as well. But I was able to experience off his experience, and that was a sold out show. But I think what I really wanted, I might have even specified it in the goal, was a show sold out under my own name. And that's really what I want. So, you know, because it's a very different thing to feel an energy and rock a room than it is to like know that those people are there to sing your lyrics back to you, you know, and because they connect with you and as who you are and who you decided to represent yourself as. So, you know, I'm grateful of that opportunity. Shout out to the OG Brad Strutt. I really appreciate the insight and the love that some of the OGs give. So yeah, in that regard, it was good.
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah. So you said to represent who you are. How important to you is being authentic and representing who you are? And how did you? Not everyone can find it that quickly. How old are you, by the way?
21.
Yeah, Jesus. So you know you're finding this authenticity within yourself early on. How did you get to that point?
I was blessed with thoughtful, creative, loving parents, and I was blessed with the burden of my own potential bearing upon me very clearly. You know, I know what I'm capable of, and I've never fit in. I never played sports. I couldn't catch a ball. I was goofy. I've always been goofy. You know what I mean? I find solace in discipline and in my own mental structural thing. Like my mind works different. Everyone's mind works differently, but I find great satisfaction in independence. And, you know, I've always found being in love very easy. A lot of things that are very deep forms of deep connection within myself and with others that I found easy. And I think that's really helped me develop and mature. I've also had the opportunity to, you know, I lived in Berlin when I was 16. I went to school there, and, you know, that taught me a lot about communication and relationships. And I upheld a relationship after that, you know, throughout VCE and high school and stuff, and went back and forth. And I was blessed at a young age to see things that other kids didn't get to see. But I'm also, again, burdened and acutely aware of my own potential. And so every decision I make is a reflection of where I stand on that.
Yeah.
And so therefore, when I just choose to sit around and do nothing all day, it really warps my self-perception, you know. And
So you said, you grew up with warm, loving parents. Some people might think, oh, you know, I've had such a cushy life, I need to kind of get on the road and be on the edge. But you found that road, that edge, that grit through your own self-determination.
Yes.
And I think that's really admirable that you look deeper within and go, okay, so I've been blessed with, you know, living in Australia, the best country in the world. You know, you're healthy. You've got four arms. You've got two arms. Yeah, five fingers on each side. You know, you've got a brain. You got your screws.
Exactly, bro.
All that. So, you know, that's awesome, and that's a big good message to people out there who come from you know, like decent upbringings, and carry that energy into your music. For those people who don't know, what is your kind of music about then? If you've had a good life, you've had a good upbringing, where do you find your stories from, and what have been some of the main kind of narratives behind some of your music?
Well, I believe, you know, my narrative is as close to the truth as possible, and not just how I feel, you know, topically, but how I want to represent that, and really trying to get to the core of my art is basically that. So what you're witnessing when you listen to my music is me trying my best to do that. And the music that came out in 2022 is, you know, I would have represented those thoughts differently now, you know, than the way I represented them in songs and projects back then as well. I would say that, you know, while I was absolutely blessed to have a loving family, of course, you know, everyone has struggles and things to pull from. And I think another thing as well is major media, legacy media, movies, Hollywood, everything, sex and violence sells. You know, and so that's going to keep selling. That's what people want to see. You know, the main consumer market of people in Australia, like you said, we're a wealthy country. There's people who are just going to work, doing the 9 to 5, doing their thing. So it's much more exciting for them to hear about a super promiscuous night at the club or X or Y than it is to hear about, I went to work today. Because that's, you know what I mean? But if you can appeal to something deeper in them that they feel like they don't get a chance to actualize themselves, such as, you know, lust or fear or anger or envy or those kinds of things, then you can appeal to that mass market. So I think you just got to find a way to do that that's tongue in cheek. You know, I've lost people, and you know, there's always things that you can pull from, and from that negative, you know, space. But there's also, you know, I also can't explain it, because it's like I sit down to write, and that's kind of what comes out. And my best writing always just comes from the top of my brain and then just goes, and I couldn't explain it to you, you know. And sometimes I go back and I'm like, that was it, that was the one. So
Yeah, no, I think, and especially moving into 2020, like the future, where us in Australia, for example, are dealing with different trials and tribulations. They might not be war or famine, but they're, you know, mental issues. You know, there's you know, like the financial crisis and all that, and there's stress, and there's, you know, like as you said, your work, they're calling you at 6 a.m. Some people don't have an outlet like rap to get it out. They might be, you know, stressing out. They got relationship issues. So I think, you know, I feel like you're a type of artist, and there are many more, you know, growing up in Australia, you know, decent upbringing, that can communicate these difficulties in people's lives that may not be able to express it. So I think you're doing a service to people out there that may be going through these dramas in their life that, you know, may not be so difficult to others on the other side of the world, but to in our world, it's like it's serious. And I think that if you can improve the lives of people through music, then they can go on to do better things. So yeah, no, big ups, man. Keep that energy, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really important.
Thank you.
What's on the agenda for, I guess, for the next few projects that you've got coming out? Are they more solo projects, or they?
Yeah, more solo projects. I've done a few features with and collaborations with artists that I respect and admire, and that's been all well and good. But it's about time, I think, that I dove deeper into myself, and I think the next phase of Owen Ekka is these next projects that I put out, and they will be solo projects mostly. The focus will be on my own thought process, my own energy, my own vibes, you know, in that moment, instead of who wants to collaborate, communicate, and spend time together. So definitely I've moved towards physical-based sales, community first, fans first. I want them to have access to stuff that general people don't have access to. I want to try, and this isn't an original idea, it's something I'm seeing replicated through certain figureheads of the communities that I respect. But to go through not just a physical first and fan first, but also to switch that orientation of people I find you through streaming and then end up being committed fans, and instead rely first on the committed fans, deliver value to them, and use the streaming as, you know, the general insight, you know, so that's what I'll say for that. But I do want to shout out the last couple of releases. 9101 dropped on July 5. That's a banger. Dope tune with Eski. It's worth checking out if you haven't checked it out yet. Music video out now. We got 10 posters in real nice GSM paper and like a metal plaque that goes on to certify each one of 10. Then they're signed and stuff. So that's the kind of stuff I want to work on. I want to, you know, work on reminding people of the value of the music and the value of the art. You know, it's a beautiful quote, but it's not my own. You know, your greatest asset is your own perception of something. That's entirely unique to you, and your ability in deciphering that vision into words that can communicate with others, just sounds that come out of your mouth. That's where the magic happens. That's the spark, the fire, the flame. So, you know, I want to get as good as I can at that. I write it every morning to prove that point. And I want to remind people of my value and the value of my music and the value of my, you know, uniqueness and independence. So that's the goal. It's always to celebrate those who celebrate me, celebrate people who see eye to eye. I think that's important. So if you support my music, you support me, support Owen Ekka, I salute you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the words, the kind words that you give me. Shout out everyone that been, you know, working with me and giving me love, TMC Media. You know, we need more platforms like this, man.
No, you've always, the first thing you were saying, like, you know, buy Burn City, buy Burn Local.
Buy Burn Local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, no one said that.
Trademark.
Yeah, trademark. And it's cool, man, because you're sort of bringing back that local energy, which, you know, maybe a lot of Aussies go like, you know, they want to go international. They want to take off and hit the moon, hit Mars and stuff. But, you know, as I was saying before, it's like good to kind of, bring it back home and kind of develop that, you know, and not focus maybe on the streams, but maybe focus on if there's people at your show that know your lyrics, like that means more to you. And you've got yourself a solid career and job, and you're working out your life, and you know you've got things in order, so you can that's a great life. You know what I mean? I think more people need to go. That's the aim. That's the goal.
I want to also set clear that, you know, I have had this job this week. That's my job in general, but as a freelancer doing the event management, it's totally unreliable, you know. And I'll be honest, the past 3 weeks I've had, you know, maybe anywhere from $100 to $20 in my account, and I'm counting the K's on the car, and you know, I'm riding my bike, and you know, like that, boo hoo, you know what I mean? But like, it's not like, you know, I wish that the narrative you said to me is that's lovely, you know. But
you need that.
Yeah, 100%. But I also have to like, it's hard because if I get too invested in that narrative, I'm like, cool, reliable job. Where the fuck's all my money? And it's all gone,
It's
you know
built
what I
on,
mean?
yeah.
So, you know, I do have the reality of like, I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I'm able to do that, because it doesn't mean that I'm stuck out on the street with nobody that thinks of me because I have $20 in my account and that's it. You know what I mean? It's
Your
like,
music will reflect that as well.
oh, well, 100%, you know, and that's where I think a lot of the hunger comes from my music. It's where like, you know, this is my actual only option if I believe in meaningfulness in my life as I see it thus far. If I was to choose another option, I would lose the sap and the meat. It would sap the creativeness out of me and the things that makes me go and wake up in the morning and want to see the sunrise and want to, you know, fucking dance and that's the magic, you know? So without that, it's just, a job is just a job. Money is just money. It comes and it goes. You know what I mean? I want to pursue meaning, and that's what gives me meaning. So
Yeah. No, it's awesome, man. It's really good to hear like an update on you know, your meaning, your values, you know, your career. And I think, yeah, definitely at your age, man, 21, I was in the States and you know, either traveling or, you know, going through, like some financial difficulties, struggling to pay rent. It doesn't stop with the artist's career. Like, it goes up and down like a roller coaster. But I mean, it's, you know, what kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to live a cruisy life, but then you feel bottled up and you just kind of let it pass you by, or do you want to go for it? But I think you definitely need a bit of a foundation to support and allow you to do your best work. It's like, you know, you got to like eat healthy, you got to, you know, exercise and stuff,
100%.
have your mind right, you know.
100%.
To not further encourage, you know, negativity and things that can get people down, because there are some people out there that don't have much hope at all, and they're lucky enough to get into a studio or a booth, but you're able to travel around and stuff. Do you think some of the things you learn in your job, you can transfer? You're thinking about, maybe I can transfer event management to your own gigs? And
Yes, I love planning my own events. I did a launch party with Rangers for the Inner Arms release, and that I use a lot of those skills in that, in terms of just marketing, getting decals on the walls, you know what I mean? Getting a tattoo artists in, getting, you know, drink sponsors and stuff like that. So that totally, and I love when I do that, because that's an integration that's moving at the forefront of my mind, and that's the point between chaos and order, where you don't know exactly what's going to happen next, and that's that magical line, you know. But realistically, it's a two-sided coin, because the more time I spend looking for freelance work in the event world, the less time I'm spending finding my own clients, calling my own dude for a forklift to go pick up a 100-kilo steel ball or whatever it is that I want to install in this space. So, you know, I think that I love to use and utilize my skills, and it's important to find the value in learning things. There's a great book called The 50th Law. It's by the same author who wrote The Laws of Power, but it collaborates with 50 Cent and uses his biography as a narrative. And you can see that a lot in his work as well. And 50 Cent's an artist that I admire greatly. By utilizing that knowledge from the street and then from the business and then from the music all into each other to make himself a formidable opponent.
well, I think you definitely have the energy, and you definitely have the time. Don't think you don't have time. You know, you're young, and you got the grit, you got the energy. I think I see, you know, really awesome things for you. So
Thanks, bro.
yeah, 100%, man. Just let people know, where can they find you? Is it Instagram would be the best pot to hit you up at?
Instagram, yep, everything's at 01.ekka, 01.ekka, all capitals. That's it, man.
That's it. Go
I want
check him out on
everything.
Spotify and everything like that.
Forget
This
it.
has been a little, you know, good one for the road, man. We managed to sneak it in real quick, man. Appreciate you once again coming down, man. And
Thank you,
we'll
sir.
link up once again, man. And can't wait to see you on the Take One, man.
100%. Eat, buy, burn local. Shout out TMC Media. Shout out Culture Sound. One
Let's
for the
go.
road. Let's
Big
do
ups.
it, baby.
Yeah.
Boom.
Stay
01.
tuned. Peace. Woo.